Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Here is why we in the media and you as fans sometimes have trouble believing what we hear from coaches and management of our sports teams. Freddie Kitchens today was asked about his relationship with Hollywood-Higgins, who was an important asset to the team last year. Freddie's response was, "I love Hig. I invited him to my house for Thanksgiving, but he had other plans." Now, you know reporters were going to ask Hig about that, so we must assume that Freddie was telling the truth. But then you wonder why Hig has been the odd man out this year. Freddie might not be lying about his relationship, but he wasn't totally truthful about that either. Jeff-Schudel is here. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into our 24th consecutive year, seen exclusively on cleveland.com. Jeff-Schudel, who has become Freddie Kitchens' personal whipping boy out in Berea, is with us tonight. Are you okay after that?
I'm fine, but I want to say something.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've been on since you've looked like a professor. So
yeah,
I feel I'm in distinguished
It does look professorial, I admit. I've been told. And however, somebody called, I was on 92.3 The Fan today, and somebody called me the professor. I said, no, that's an insult to the great jeff-schudel. So I will refuse the name. That would be like if they gave Andy Baskin the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason tag.
You know, I like Jeff-Schudel. I mean, he was
great guy.
He was a good guy, and it's too bad he passed.
Yeah,
way too soon. But he was a fun guy to be around.
216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at the real Les-Levine at gmail.com. You see it at the bottom of your screen. Jeff, I have so many email addresses, phone numbers. I just go into automatic pilot sometimes.
I know what you mean. Then luckily, I only have 2 email addresses.
Even though you cover every sport in the history of mankind. And
I try to remember those 2 and my Twitter. And if I could do all those, I think I'm not senile.
All right, tell me what happened today. Hollywood-Higgins was the main source of regalement.
Well, he was until we got to the locker room.
Right.
And Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham's best friend, told us that he doesn't want to go anywhere. He's happy here.
That Odell doesn't want to go anywhere.
That's correct, yeah.
Wouldn't you think if Odell Beckham got the word out to friends, coaches, or whatever, as supposedly was reported, don't you think Jarvis would know that?
Right, and so he was asked that question. He says, the question was, well, you're his closest friend. Wouldn't he confide in you?
Right.
And he said, yes, he would. And if he didn't, I'd kick his ass. That's what he said.
Easy now, come on.
So
we're trying to keep, this More Sports and Les-Levine for 24 years.
Right.
We're trying to make it last another 23 or 24.
So that's what he said, that he would kick his butt if
much better
if he didn't tell him first.
Right.
And I believe that not that Jarvis Landry probably did not expect this question, but he seemed to me like he was being honest.
He wasn't totally taken aback by it either.
No. So I think his response was not prepared. He wasn't caught off guard, but I believe he was honest.
Right. All right, so here's the deal with odell-beckham-jr. He comes from the New York Giants for, 5-6 years? Something like that?
Right.
You'd think he'd be a little more media savvy than going and telling other teams that he's available, bring him. He's not available, first of all.
Right.
But saying, bring me over, I'm done here.
Yeah.
From somebody who's been covered by the New York media, this should be a piece of cake here, and he should have understood that that's going to be taken in the way it was taken.
Well, yes. I mean, we didn't hear that conversation. Come get me.
Right.
And last week we did talk to Odell Beckham, and he said he was asked, "Well, are you happy here, or don't care where you play next year?"
Right.
And he said, no one knows what the future holds.
Yeah, it was a meaningless answer.
It was very vague. And he's a smart guy. He is media savvy.
Right.
So he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's not saying. And again, after the game with the Bengals, he could have said, no, look, I'm happy here. And he said, I'm not really going to talk about the offseason.
He also could have said something truthful like, and by the way, I'm under contract for 3 more years.
Yes, right. And that's another part of it. You're right. He's under contract through 2023.
Right.
And the Browns, it's not like they gave a 5th rounder for him.
They
They
gave a
gave
lot.
him a 1st,
Yeah.
a 3rd, and Jabril Peppers.
And they didn't trade him just to get 1 year out of him.
Right.
So
for
this has
sure.
been a lost year, basically. But the reality is, if you judge it on 1 year, it's a horrible, horrible trade. If he stays here 2, 3, or 4 more years and produces, turns out to be a good deal.
Right, and that's I cannot imagine John Dorsey giving up on this trade after 1 year, unless he gets like 2 first-round picks or something.
Right, especially because his name is on it, stamped all over the trade.
Right, and he gave up when you put that together with the trade for Olivier Vernon, who now he's injured, so that trade hasn't worked out well for the Browns.
Well, injury, you can't blame injuries.
Right, but well, Kevin Zeitler got hurt in that Giants game last week.
Right.
But anyway, I just cannot see him giving up on this trade after 1 year.
All right, let's talk a little bit of baseball while we can, since nobody in this town seems to like doing that, but I do. You familiar with yesterday? We had reported that the Dodgers might be really interested in giving their 2 top prospects to the Indians, and more, as it turns out. And now the Los Angeles Angels are talking about going after Corey-Kluber. So, first of all, do you want to deal Lindor now, or you want to wait, or you want to just hold him off as long as you can? And what about Kluber? Because you're not going to get max value out of him because nobody knows if he's healthy or not.
Well, I have to say that I'm kind of coming around to maybe trading Lindor now. If you get those top prospects from the Dodgers, although I'm personally for holding on to him unless those prospects are ready now.
Yeah, and you think you can hold off Minnesota and Chicago, I would think.
Probably. I think
With
Minnesota's
Lindor.
going to be weaker this year.
Yeah.
But I think if those guys can contribute right away, okay, make that deal for Lindor. But I don't think that Chris Antonetti is going to make the deal, obviously, unless he really gets what he wants in return.
Okay, the names we threw out yesterday for Lindor, checking them out, they seem to be legitimate prospects. Number 1 and 2 in the Dodgers organization, and number 2 and 8 in all of baseball. But now some names that come out as far as Corey-Kluber is concerned and the Los Angeles Angels, they aren't all that impressive. At least the numbers are. The 23-year-old left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval, 39 innings, 5.03 ERA, 42 strikeouts, 19 bases on balls in 10 games with the Angels at the end of last year. And he's the number 8 prospect with the Angels. Now, I know they have a good farm system, but number 8 doesn't help me.
No, and I think that Corey-Kluber could have a rebound year.
Could.
Because he had that bad injury, but it wasn't surgery. There was no surgery.
That's correct.
And so we talked to Terry Francona and Anthony Mike Chernoff after the season, and that's what they said. When you think about
if it's an arm or elbow, that's a different story.
Right, and he hasn't really pitched since May 1st in a big league game.
Let's take a look at Luis Rengifo, who is a 22-year-old second baseman shortstop, hit .238, 108 games with the Angels. That's a legitimate amount of sample size there. Hit .273 with 5 homers and 14 RBIs in the minor league games in AAA Salt Lake. With the Angels, he had, there you see it right there, 7 homers he hit for the Angels in limited action. Trent DeVoe is a 19-year-old outfielder, .222 batting average, 8 homers, 36 RBIs in Arizona League and the Pioneer League. He has been clocked at 6.2 seconds in the 60-yard dash. Maybe the Browns could use him for special teams.
Yeah. Les, I'd be lying if I told you I knew anything about these guys.
No, none of us do.
Right.
I knew about the Dodger guys, which look pretty impressive.
Gavin Lux, I believe, and he's a high prospect who I guess would play second, and then you'd have Jose Ramirez at third.
Correct.
And then the Indians have some shortstops in the farm system. I'm not sure
One thing about the
Holland
Indians,
Reddy.
and one thing about Chris Antonetti and Mike Chernoff and company there, they may not draft particularly well, but they have a pretty good idea what everybody else has. They seem to, I mean, they've made some excellent deals at that lower level, although their first-round picks and second-round picks have not come through in recent years.
They have made great trades. And the center fielder whose name just slipped my mind, he came in July of 2018 for a couple minor leaguers. He was in the Cardinals farm system,
Right.
And he ended up really playing well for the Indians last year.
Right.
But anyway, so you're right. They do make make good deals like that.
216-575-0403. Jeff Schudel is with us. You were at the Cavaliers game last night. I'm in truthfulness and honesty, I turned it off in the middle of the third quarter. At least I should have hung in there for a few minutes and got excited, but apparently it wasn't to be.
Yeah, they've made a great run. They're up 10 or 11 on the Houston Rockets.
Right.
And the crowd's getting into it, although there wasn't a huge crowd. People who were there getting into it. And then they blew
Well,
it.
it's what, 24 straight points they
Right.
ran
And then
out.
they just gave the lead away. And then they turned the ball over a couple of times in the last couple of minutes with bad inbound passes.
Right.
And they look like the young team they are.
Well, do you expect a trade or two coming up soon? Or are they going to have to wait toward the deadline?
That's another good one. And it's similar to the Francisco-Lindor situation. Do you just give up on give Kevin Love away for, whatever they get for him?
No, he's the only asset they have.
Right. And then I think as soon as he's gone, Tristan Thompson will say, hey, I want out now. But then there's a story now that any team that wants, that picks up Love is going to want the Cavaliers to throw in a first-round pick.
Just throw it in?
Because, hey, if you want us to take this albatross of a contract,
Right.
you're going to have to give us
We need a player.
And I think that would be a mistake for the Cavaliers because they're going to be picking really high again in this next draft
Right.
in June. And we could always talk about the draft no matter what team we cover.
Do you think that John Beilein has buyer's regret on coming here and giving up what is an easier? Well, what's a tough part of the college gig is the recruiting. But once you get it, you're talking about 28, 30 games. This is a madhouse. If you're at his age and the amount of coaching he's done, all of a sudden back-to-back, flying out all over the place is kind of different to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, Les, I am amazed by the energy he has. Because we're the same, I think he's maybe 1 year older than me. But I think we're relatively the same. And so he coaches the Cavaliers against Houston last night, had to hop on a plane, and they're in San Antonio tonight in a game that starts in about an hour and a half.
Except the one good part about it is it's a team plane. You don't have to load up at the airport and.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. But still, that's a lot of
running around, a lot of packing bags.
He's not sleeping in his own bed.
Yeah. 216-575-0403. Email us during the show at real-levine@gmail.com. Here's the stat of the month. December, there are over $3 million paid out in the Ohio Lottery scratch-offs every day. Give the gift of winning this month with popular Ohio Lottery scratch-offs like Holiday Cash, Holiday Lucky Times 10, and Merry Millions, all from the Ohio Lottery. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. Your comments will be read on the air and seen on the air. More Sports and Les Levine exclusively on cleveland.com. We'll take a break. Jeff Schudel with us, back in a moment.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It's amazing. It's a great feeling. I spoke earlier, and just thinking about it, just thinking about my career, I think this is by far one of the biggest, best things I could be, up for with the opportunity to win.
What does your passion come from to be so active in the community?
Honestly, it just came from just this platform, the platform that I have, the things that I'm very passionate about. And growing up, I never really had somebody that was, around or in my neighborhood, or that really came back and I can say helped me, helped, my neighborhood or my community. And I think that's what I've been trying to do in every place that I've been, from being in Baton Rouge in college to going to Miami and now to being here in Cleveland.
Hey, Jarvis, in a football standpoint, you're 5 yards from 1,000. Haven't done that in a couple of years. Was that a goal this year? Is that something that means a lot to you as well?
No, it's whatever. I think for me, honestly, just 1,000 yards is something that, I plan on touching every year and even in the past 2 years that I could have easily had. But, the wins come. That's all I care about.
All right, here's the notice from Jimmy and Dee Haslam. We're proud that Jarvis is able to represent the Browns as our Walter Payton Man of the Year, as he has made a significant impact in many important areas for our team, including through his commitment to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and youth football initiatives. From Jimmy and Dee Haslam. Dee is not wearing a number 95 hat at this point.
No, she's not. That's pretty good. I really like Jarvis Landry.
Well, you can't help but like the guy,
Right.
and this is what he's done so far with 3 games remaining. 115 targets, 69 receptions, 5 yards under the 1,000 mark, and 76 yards per game with 5 touchdowns. Is that about what you, if you put it out over the next 3, projected out over the next 3 games, is that about what you thought he'd do?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he averaged 100 catches a game. 100 catches a season.
Right.
His first 4 years with Miami, and so I don't think he's going to make that again this year. But if you remember that game in Pittsburgh, he caught that ball on the sideline. His toes are just in, and he's stretched out. He's got
Phenomenal.
the ball on his fingertips.
Phenomenal.
And he makes it look easy.
Could you imagine practice as well, maybe here, but at LSU with the
that
2
would
of
be
those
fun.
guys?
And I think they had dueling one-handed catches.
Yeah. Well, I hope they're not doing it now because apparently there's a sports hernia injury involved. And by the way,
What is the difference?
I have no idea.
No, nor do I.
I don't want to know, to be honest with you.
I've had 2 hernia operations.
Well, maybe
And-
one was sports, one was work.
Yes, and lifting my laptop, right? But I don't know what the difference is.
All right, so you thought that Landry would produce about what he did. How far off are you on Odell-Beckham Jr.? He has 114 targets.
Right.
I'm sorry. The amount of targets is 14th in the league. That's not a slouch.
No, and Del, you know what though, Les? I think that target thing is like a bogus number.
I do too.
Because if you're the nearest receiver and you throw the ball out of bounds,
Right, you get that.
But when you look at 116 whatever it is, 100 targets, 69 receptions, it looks like he's dropping 30% of the passes.
Right. No, most of them have no chance to get to you.
Right, and that's not the case. So,
All right. So everybody wants to know about Freddie Kitchens, and if you're a Cleveland sports fan, it's a yearly question, what happens to the head coach? So let's throw it out there. What do you think happens to the head coach, and do wins and losses matter at this point of the season?
I think it will factor in how the Browns play in these last 3 games. They don't necessarily have to win them all, and which I think would be a tall order since you have to play Baltimore a week from Sunday.
Which may have things wrapped up at that point.
Right. But I would really be surprised if the Ravens would rest guys in week 16,
and the
17,
bye week.
Get a bye, and then, you got to play again. So, so I don't think they would rest their starters for the. Plus, they want to beat the Browns after the Browns beat them.
I mean, it's hard to believe, but the Browns have a chance to go 5-1 in their division.
Yes, they really do, and they should go at least 4-2.
Right.
And but back to Freddie, I think they should keep him, and I think the worst thing he did this year was wear that Pittsburgh started T-shirt
and didn't know there was something wrong with it.
And
I think he knows now.
Yes, although he said that 2 days later, he said he would. That day of the game, he said he would wear it again. would wear it again.
Well, I was out there and I asked a question, which he didn't either understand or want to respond to. The thing said Pittsburgh started it.
Right.
Right. So and remember the story was that there was nothing to what the claim of Myles Garrett. He claimed maybe there was a slur, but there was no indication of that at all. So when it says Pittsburgh started it, I'm presuming by looking at it that he thinks something happened with being initiated by somebody with Pittsburgh. And he had no idea what I was talking about.
Right, I know. I remember that exchange well.
Right.
And you're right.
You're on my side on that?
Yes, he either did not start it. I mean, he either did not understand it or did not really want to go into. Yeah, maybe there was something there.
Right.
That made him confident that shirt was the right thing to wear.
I would hope somebody has straightened him out on that, wearing that shirt, and why he shouldn't have done that.
We joked about what if the Browns had their holiday party last week. It would be kind of funny
if everybody wore the
that
shirt.
To the party.
I don't think so.
No.
Where's the holiday party at? And were you invited?
We were not invited. No. I think it was at the stadium.
At the
one of those private areas there.
And then you take some cake and ice cream and then go down and run some 40s?
Sure, yeah. Or take it down and watch the waves come in.
Right. 216-575-0403. ESPN put out a list of potential head coaching job openings and which are the most desirable. So let's take a look at what ESPN came up with. They say the most desirable one might be the Urban Meyer special, Dallas Cowboys. You think that'll happen? Jerry Jones says, I didn't talk to him. Oh, my son might have.
Yeah. I would be surprised if Jason Garrett is back, unless they win the division.
They're 6-7 right now.
So are the Eagles, and they play, the Eagles and Cowboys play.
Where's that game?
I think it's at Philadelphia.
Oh.
And Dallas has a tougher last 3 games.
Ron Rivera's team, the Carolina Panthers, what do you think of Ron Rivera?
Well, he was there a while, and I think he got a little stale there, maybe.
Could be.
And
change of scenery.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at that list. If it's supposed to be in order, why the Browns would be. Well,
the Browns they gave pluses and minuses. The plus is good young talent, and the minus is ownership.
Okay, I would still put the Browns certainly ahead of the Atlanta Falcons.
I would think I'd have them up second because I think there's a lot of talent here, and if it's the right coach, he's got the material to work with.
Yes, and
Detroit Matt Patricia. That's his first year, right?
This is his second year.
A second year,
right?
Yeah.
And but he's had some quarterback issues. Matt Stafford's had a bad back now for the last month or so. But I think that they should hold on to Freddie Kitchens. I think changes have to be made, though. I do not think
like a play caller.
I don't think that Freddie Kitchens, offensive coordinator Todd Monken, and Ryan Lindley, the quarterback coach, I just don't think they mesh well. And I can't tell you this happened to make me say that. But when you just see the way things flow out there, It doesn't flow.
Right.
So that's why I say that.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Right now, Northeast Factory Direct has about 50 sofas at around $399. Solid wood bunk sets from $299. And hot tubs, they've got them also. They've got 6-person hot tub. All the bells and whistles you need, LED lighting and a waterfall. They sell it for $3,800. The same hot tub sells all over the country for about $7,000. No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, just 3 huge bare bone warehouses, and you're going to pay half price or way less than that. You check it out before you go to any of the 3 stores. Go to northeastfactorydirect.com to take a look at what you're looking for, and you're going to find it from Northeast Factory Direct. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. You can catch the excitement of live harness racing every Wednesday. Make that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday with a post time of 6 p.m. Coming up this Saturday, the 14th, it's Sanisac Fan Appreciation Night. Enter for a chance to win cash and gift cards, electronics, concert tickets, big screen TVs, and much, much more. Santa will be there from 6 until 9. All at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. Jeff Schudel and I return in a moment. When we come back, Jarvis Landry talks about Odell Beckham.
Get your basement ready for the holidays.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. For a limited time, get Nature Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
National Holidays expert Mary here with a list of holidays you won't want to miss. Get your Ohio Lottery Merry Million scratch-offs for National Donut Day, National Have a Party with Your Bear Day, Pickle Day, National Unique Talent Day, Take a Hike Day, and America's favorite, National Jukebox Day. Every day is a reason to celebrate. Grab a Merry Millions and other Ohio Lottery holiday scratch-offs today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Well, I think he wants to be here. I know he wants to be here. You know, it's not even about, you know, trying to go somewhere else. You know, I think for him, you know, he's been a leader. He's a guy that comes to work every day. He's a guy that's playing through injuries and all the things that you want out of a player. And inside of this organization, you know, he has a voice. He has responsibility, you know, to himself, to all of us, you know, and to go out there and compete each and every Sunday, and he does that. So I don't think he doesn't want to leave, and he's not trying to leave. And to answer, that answer your question.
Where do you think all these things come out?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a question for you guys. I don't write. You know, I don't write. I haven't heard him say anything directly, so I don't know how it could come out to be, you know, all that it is now.
I think it bothers him when there's all this speculation.
I mean, I'm sure, you know, he sees it, and it does take a toll in the sense to know that, you know, he's putting his heart and soul into this season for this team, you know, and everybody else is, you know, trying to make a story off of things that is not really going on.
Oh, here we go, Jeff. Blame the media.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to do. obviously, if Jay Glazer's involved, he has a relationship with an awful lot of NFL players. If he said it happened, something, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right. He did not just, man, I have nothing to report today. I'm going to make this one up.
I'll make this one up.
And maybe after that 49ers game when the Browns lost 31-3, maybe he did say to Jimmy Garoppolo, man, get me out of here or something like that.
Let me ask this. Before the game, let's say an hour before the game, the team is out there an hour before the game, right?
Right.
And let's say Odell or anybody comes across the opposing coach, if he's not busy taping other things in the press box. So that would be Belichick. I'm sorry, allegedly. If he comes across a coach and they start talking about this, the coach has to walk away from that, doesn't he? Isn't that tampering?
Right. I mean, yes. The coach wouldn't be really wrong to say, oh, yeah, we'll try to get you. I mean, that would really be...
That's a problem.
That is a problem. And you know what, though? I mean, these guys all know each other now. It's not like when we were growing up and like the Browns really hated the Steelers.
Right,
in those
and they really
days.
hated the Giants.
Yeah, and the Giants, right. And maybe that Steelers deal was more like in the 70s. But now they're chums. They text each other all the time. And I kind of like the old days when
you really hated people.
When Ron Bolton and Lynn Swann would like spit at each other, you know?
Those are the good old days.
Yeah, those are the good old. I mean,
I've told this story 100 times before, but in the 60s, there was a great defensive back, E. Rich Barnes.
I remember him.
Who played for the Giants.
Number 49.
Number 49. Played for the Giants, and we all thought he was the dirtiest player ever. He gets traded to the Browns, and we thought, boy, what an aggressive player he is.
Yeah, right.
He wasn't dirty anymore because he was wearing a Browns uniform.
Right, yeah.
You know, you assume those guys didn't like each other. I mean, because you take the Lou Groza, Dante LaVelle, that whole crew, they were together for years and years and years. And there was obviously no free agency or any, very few trades. So you didn't have the opportunity to know the other guy.
Right, and the only way you knew him was when you were going against him back then, like twice. You know, he played the Giants twice a year, and those were really, really good rivalries, more so than now. Because as when players get after 4 years, you know, you sign with another team.
Not only that, they might be signing with a team in your own division. Joe Hayden makes the big interception the other day. Oh yeah, that's the same Joe Hayden we had for all those years.
Yeah, well, that was a nice move by the former regime, and then he goes and picks off. He did the same thing in the last game. So he looks like he is not slowing down.
No. Do you think if the opposing defensive coordinator thinks that Baker-Mayfield is way off on his targeting, that he tells his defensive back, don't stick with your man, stay a little behind him?
That would probably be a mistake because maybe Baker would be, fine as guy. But
just to wrap up on Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, it seems to me it would be a surprise if Jarvis Landry heard that Odell Beckham wanted to leave. It seems to me that would be a surprise to him because he would know before anybody.
Right, and as I said, that's what he said. That I think he would confide in Jarvis Landry first. And so that clip, you heard that clip right now, and wouldn't you agree? I mean, he didn't look like he was lying there.
No.
And so that gives me hope that once all these things settle down, that Beckham will be happy here next year, and then I think things will be smooth after that.
Tri-C, where futures begin. Explore your interests. Find a program that puts you on a path to a bright future from Tri-C. Well, Jeff got some airtime today talking with Freddie Kitchens about Higgins, right?
Right.
You were all over the place.
Well,
we'll hear some of that when we get back. Right. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. they transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
I think you guys are trying to make a big problem with me and, Hig. Hig goes out and does his job, does his work. You have to make a decision. So, Hig should play some, and we'll see where it goes. But, there's no problem with me and Hig,
What does he need to show to get more playing time?
Everything we're looking for. He knows. We know.
So is there been a drop-off? I'll just say me. That's a mystery to me because he had big, decent numbers last year, and when you were calling plays, but not anymore.
No. We got to go off what we see. And that's why we make every decision. Every week is different, depending on who we're playing, how we're playing, what type of game we're playing. I feel very fortunate we have versatile guys in that room, and we make the best decision each week.
Does this stem from supposedly he declined to go into the game in the fourth quarter against the Seahawks? Some of this residue from that?
I don't know. Where'd you hear that from?
Several different places.
Did you? No. It doesn't. I don't hold grudges. That would insinuate that I'm holding a grudge on Hig, and I just said that I don't have a problem with Hig. I actually love Hig. I love being around him, love him being out there. Tried to get him to come over and eat Thanksgiving dinner with me, and he wouldn't do it. But he said he had other plans.
All right, so here's the drop-off from 18 to 19. Played 13 games last year, 8 so far. Targets only 11 this year compared to 53 last. 39 receptions last year, 4 this year, and 4 touchdowns versus 1. So something's wrong. What's wrong? And by the way, Freddie looks totally bored by that whole thing.
I think he's bored because we've asked it more than once.
Well, he's the head coach. He said that's part of the job.
And I can't understand. But, I was driving over here it dawned on me that I think it was in 2017, the years run together, but he got cut in training camp and then was re-signed. So my guess is maybe at that time he wasn't putting out the effort that the coaches wanted.
Yeah, but Freddie wasn't here.
Right. But I'm saying if he wasn't putting out the effort in camp at that time, and he got cut and then re-signed to like a wake-up call. And I think even kind of made that reference that it was a wake-up call that he has to work hard. So I don't know if he's not working hard in practice. I don't want to imply that is the issue, but there is something.
Something's going on between
Damian
the two.
Ratley is playing instead, and I cannot believe.
And there's a comfort zone, or there was a comfort zone with Baker-Mayfield.
Right. Those numbers you just put up there. That says something to me.
So tell me what's the problem? Why isn't he playing more?
I don't know. I don't know what else we can. And he doesn't want to talk about it. We tried to talk to Higgins today, and I think we talked to him early in the year. He did not play against San Francisco, and he didn't play against Seattle. He told us he was ready for that 49ers game. And
Njoku said he was ready a couple weeks ago also.
Right.
What's up with that?
And he didn't hold on to the ball last week, Njoku. So,
yeah, but the week before he didn't play.
Right. So I'm not sure. And you know, people want to say that that Freddie Kitchens isn't enough of a disciplinarian, but then maybe he has reasons. He's really good about not sharing private conversations with his players, which
as we say in the business, not throwing them under the bus.
Right.
I'm so sick of that term, but go ahead.
Yeah, whoever would do that. But anyway, so you got to give him credit for that. And so maybe there are things going on that he knows about, the player knows about, and the other players know about. But and if he doesn't want to share them with us, probably really kudos to Freddie.
Yeah, for not giving it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Because then
right.
at least the players know that he is being loyal to them and not to us.
Their secret is safe with him.
Right.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Jim Ingram will be here Monday night after the Browns game against Arizona. So maybe he'll have some insight into the Higgs situation. We call him Hig now?
We'll call him Hig.
Holly Hig?
Holly Hig, yeah. And but you know what? His contract is up after this year, and
well, that doesn't sound good.
No, and he'll be unrestricted. So I really would be shocked if he's back here next year, unless.
Well, there's a whole bunch of other teams. Somebody saw something on film, I'm quite sure. Northeast Factory Direct, east, west, and south. East side, the old B&B Appliance Building in Euclid. Of course, west side, West 140th Street. And the new one in Macedonia. And check them out. But before you go anywhere, check out what they have at northeastfactorydirect.com, and you'll find the savings are going to be unbelievable. No gimmicks, no deceiving blowout sales, no typical retail nonsense. You'll pay quite a bit less because they pay about 1/10 the price of rent as the big box stores, and that, of course, at Northeast Factory Direct. Sokolowski's University Inn. I was there today after my radio shot today, and they've got just a couple more tickets available for the wine tasting event. That'll be on Sunday at 3 o'clock. So if you don't want to watch the Browns, or you do, and whatever, you can go there. And that'll start at 3 p.m. Join the Sokolowski family for their unforgettable holiday wine tasting event. It's featuring Wente wines. Sokolowski's University Inn, recently named by Food and Wine magazine as the #2 cafeteria-style restaurant in the entire country. Wow. I don't mean in the entire, downtown Cleveland area. I mean the entire country. Unbelievable.
Country.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment.
Go enjoy the wine.
Yeah. Then go watch the Browns.
And then watch the Browns. It might make it easier.
Not a bad idea. I had an idea today on radio. They're talking about baseball, where they're going to treat marijuana like alcohol. That's not going to be banned. So I figured one day or one night, every team has to play under the influence of marijuana, including the broadcasters and
the writers, no.
And the writers, and the pitchers throwing 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. You don't think that would show interest on TV?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the Facebook question of the day. A little bit later, how come quickies? More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get your garage ready for the holidays.
We had some cracks in the floor. We needed to enhance the beauty of it. That's when we called Nature Stone.
Nature Stone corrects uneven concrete, so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. For a limited time, get Nature Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
All right, let's take a look at this date in sports history. December 12th, 1976. Joe Namath plays his last game as a member of the New York Jets. He played 4 more games the next year with the Rams. Surprisingly, I was totally surprised by this. His record in the NFL for the Hall of Famer, wow. 77 wins, 108 losses, and 3 ties.
And I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but he threw more interceptions than touchdown passes, too. But he won that Super Bowl.
He did win the Super Bowl, which changed the game of football, of the NFL. There's no question about that. I know there was 2 other Hall of Famers who had losing records. One was George Blanda. I don't remember who the other one was. I'm surprised though. That's a lot of games under 500.
Well, that is a lot. So
you ever see YouTube stuff of him when he was at Alabama before the knee operations? He was fast. He
really
had everything.
And I wonder what those operations would be like now. You know,
Austin Carr once told me he would probably Austin needed 2 operations. He'd have been done with operations.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
We should tell the audience, Les, that it was Oscar Mercado.
Oscar Mercado is the name we left out.
Recall. So.
All right. Let's take a look at this date in Les-Levine history. Let's see what we have. Must have been an important date. Maybe not. Maybe nothing happened that day. Joe Namath guarantees a Super Bowl win over the Johnny Unitas-led Baltimore Colts. Les thought he should have guaranteed how many dates he would have had in Miami that week. I don't know what the over-under would have been.
So he retired exactly 7 years after that guarantee?
Look, we don't do fact-checking here. We sit down, we come up with a date, and we go from there. We don't expect anybody to come up with that kind of a statement. Are you with me or against me? Do you know how tough it is to come up with these stupid things every day?
All right.
Week in review. Les in 1954, Les and his father always watched the Jack Benny show together. They both thought the funniest line ever was when a robber said to Jack, "Your money or your life?" Jack said, "I'm thinking it over." It's a classic comedy line.
I can hear that voice, too.
Let's see what else. December 10th, 1956. This is true, Jeff. Les sends a play suggestion to Paul Brown, the coach of the Browns. With the Browns in punt formation, there should be a direct snap to the blocking back. In April, Les received a thank you note and a Browns pennant from the Hall of Fame coach.
That is cool. Do you still have it?
No, but who knew those would be worth anything? But I was sort of mad. It took him 5 months to come up with it.
What's he been doing?
Joe DiMaggio retired on this date back in 1951. Alex Cole announces his retirement from the Indians around 40 years after DiMaggio. Unfortunately, nobody noticed. I mean, Alex Cole actually hit in 2 consecutive games. I don't know if you were aware of that.
He had those big bug-eye glasses, didn't he?
Well, yes, and they moved the fences back at Old Cleveland Stadium and made it a trapezoid. To get the ball over the fence in center field, it had to go into the bleachers, and as we all know, no ball was ever hit into the bleachers. All right, so question of our Facebook question. Should the Browns just trade Odell Beckham during the offseason? Why or why not? Rick May says, if he is in fact injured, let's see if he's more effective next year when he's healthy. Also take the play-calling duties away from Freddie. I think he's proven he cannot wear all these hats and be a successful coach. He does have a lot of hats.
He does have a lot.
Glenn Berger. I didn't realize what a great wide receiver Beckham is until he joined the Browns. However, the Browns' offense has regressed this year, and it's quite possible due to Beckham's presence on the team. He may be hard to trade based on his salary, but it appears that Beckham has caused the offense to be dysfunctional. I believe a trade would be the best for the team and for Beckham. Dave Shoup says, I believe he's been injured all year, and that's affected his timing with Baker, and it's even resulted in OBJ not running routes correctly. This has been hinted to repeatedly. He's still a major talent, and we should keep him and hope he can get healthy. We would not get value if we tried to trade him. If we had OBJ the decoy all year, maybe next year we can get OBJ the receiver. Larry Pantages, remember giving up skilled players like Paul Warfield and Ernest Biner way too soon for the wrong reasons? Just bring down the Get Smart TV, show the cone of silence and ignore Odell's diva personality, include him prominently in the weekly game plan, and try to win while his contract plays out. Well, as you said, it plays out till 2023, right?
Right. Larry Pantages, he
used to be
sports editor at the
Beacon Journal. Gerard Morelli, thank you for watching, Larry. We appreciate it very much. Gerard Morelli, why? Because Kitchens can't design plays for deep threat, or the line is too inept to pass protect. Ridiculous. Wow. Should have written that in capitals.
So that goes back to what I was saying about, I think they have to change things, either Todd Monken. I'm not sure what a good fit that is, because usually when you hire an offensive coordinator, that coach
somebody
knows
who's been
the guy.
with you, yeah.
And they never worked together.
They never met each other.
Right. And that, I'm not taking sides here, but that doesn't usually happen.
Right.
Usually you know the coach that you hire.
All right, I'm going to make a bold prediction. Next year, I don't know if Freddie's going to be gone. I don't know if the offensive coordinator is going to be gone, Todd Monken. I don't know, but I know it's not going to come back in the same way it is now.
Right. I'm
agree with
that?
100%. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's not going to be what it is.
No, I'm 100% with you on that.
I mean, John Dorsey can't come out and say we're totally satisfied with what we got offensively.
No, and I think it to say we're just wiping everybody out. I don't like that either.
I don't like that either.
And so that's why I say that I think you keep Freddie and keep Freddie Kitchens and
make some changes around him.
Right, and like I say, I go back to Ryan Lindley, the quarterback coach. First half of 2018, he was a graduate assistant at San Diego State. Then Freddie gets hired as a head coach.
So
Lindley's the running backs coach, and now he's the quarterback coach. And I think, especially a young quarterback like Baker-Mayfield needs a more experienced quarterback coach to work.
If you want to leave us a message and you can't get us while we're on the air live, you can send us the voicemail of Truth and Reason at the number you see there, 216-200-6650. Call anytime, leave a message. We will play it on an upcoming show. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. What a big event coming up on this Saturday. Santa Sac Fan Appreciation. It's the Santa Sac prize drawings. Enter for a chance to win cash, gift cards, electronics, concert tickets, big screen TVs, and much, much more. And a visit from Santa from 6 to 9 p.m. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. We're going to come back. We'll check out some How Come Quickies. Jeff, you ready to grade these?
I am ready. That's
one rule. You ready for the rule? No
ready.
10s. Don't give them a 10 because they'll just tip their cap and walk away and not send these in.
Right. They always have to reach for more.
It's not to say we won't find a 10 eventually, but we really won't. But you can keep trying. Back in a moment. I see one by Toledo Mike that's a good one. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get your basement ready for the holidays.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature's Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. For a limited time, get Nature's Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Birthdays for today. Bob Pettit, one of the early stars, the St. Louis Hawks, became the Atlanta Hawks, born in 1932. Seymour Movies. I plan to do that this year. I plan to see more movies. 1947. Gorman Thomas, traded for Rick Manning, right, with Milwaukee. John Randall, Irvin Santana, T.J. Ward, all born on the 12th of December. 216. Well, I'm giving the number out, but you can't call right now.
He's old, Gorman Thomas.
Is that right?
69.
How come deer know where to cross? How is that possible? What were you telling me about some lady calling 911?
Right. If you go on YouTube,
yeah,
she says, why? She's talking to a radio, like Baskin and Phelps.
Right.
And why don't they put those deer crossing signs out in the country?
Where the deer are?
Where the deer aren't going to get killed on the freeway. Like, she made it sound, she was convinced the deer see the signs. Oh.
Could you imagine being at 911 and the first responders, God bless them all, but the stuff they have to put up with?
Oh, yeah.
Like one lady had ordered a cheeseburger at a fast food restaurant, and they put ketchup on, and she called 911 to complain about it?
What's your emergency? Ketchup.
It's not funny. Those responders, what they have to go through, what a great job they do for all of us. All right, so here we go. By the way, Dave Bacon will have his Weekend Winners show tomorrow from 6 until 7 with the D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, as they predict some games. And then Monday, we'll have Jim Ingram with us Monday night. We'll have a day or two off sometime in the next couple of weeks for the holiday. We'll let you know when we get close to that. All right, Toledo Mike writes in. You have to think about this. Don't just come up with an answer immediately. You have to have some reflection on this. You ready?
I'm ready.
How come my diagnosis of being colorblind came back completely out of the purple? See, not the blue.
Right.
In case you're wondering what that's all about. Well, Jeff is giving his grade. Go ahead. What do you have?
7.0.
7.0. All right. We can strive to do better. I'll be on 92.3 The Fan solo tomorrow from 10 until 2. In for Baskin and Phelps tomorrow. John in Ashtabula. How come a clockmaker's successful career is just a matter of time?
I'm going to give that one an 8.2.
8.2, that's pretty good. You're a tough grader. I can see that right now.
All right.
Mike from Canton. How come it's a broken record, but it keeps on playing? It's not a broken record player. It's just a broken record.
I'm going to give that one.
Record players are made to be broken.
Yes. We'll give that one an 8.4.
Mr. Gullible.
There we go.
Double dipping here. How come the artist thought he spilled his paint, but it was only a pigment of his imagination?
Yeah, I kind of like that one.
You like that one? See, Bud Shaw does not like puns in quickies.
We have an 8.9.
An 8.9? 8.9. I don't think we've ever had an 8.9. How come the building stairs is an up and down business? How come building stairs is an up and down business?
That one's actually pretty clever. We'll give that a 9.1.
John Patrick.
Uh-oh, he's always good.
Maybe our last one of ever. How come I thought Johnny Cash was a pay toilet?
Ooh.
Johnny Cash.
Cash, gotcha.
A pay toilet.
That one, I'm not big on that one. That one's going to be a 6.4.
That's good enough. We don't want to encourage John or anybody else with stuff like that. You know, this more sports and less Levine thing, we want to keep it going a little bit.
That's right.
Okay, we are done, I think. All right, tomorrow I'll be on 92.3 The Fan from 10 until 2. Dave Bacon with his Weekend Winners edition of More Sports and Less Levine. That's tomorrow night at 6. And then I'll be back with Jim Ingram on Monday night. Hopefully we're talking about a Browns win. Because, you know, all the people who are most upset about it are ones who probably said they were going to be 8-8, 9-7, 7-9, which is about what it's going to be.
Right.
And people are upset with it.
Yes, and they didn't live up to expectations yet. They're not going to win 10 games, obviously. Playoffs they need a lot to happen. But I think this will be a building session.
Just play, and they'll call you if you made it.
Right. This will be a building season, I think, if they don't overreact.
Okay. All right. Happy holiday to you and your
Same
family.
to
If
you,
I don't
Les.
see you
Thanks for
before,
having me, as
my
always.
pleasure. Great job as always. All right. We'll see you tomorrow night. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.